Padme Hum. Om Mani 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 Padme Hum. By the blessings of the Triple Gem, may the minds and hearts of all beings be attuned to the sublime Dharma. Bless us to move forward on the path of true understanding. May the way be cleared of all impediments. Bless us that the elusive vision may appear in the light of the transcendent wisdom of Buddha. May unskillful thoughts and actions cease to arise. Bless us with the awakening of true love and compassion. May all beings realize perfect enlightenment. Well, happy Sunday. It looks like we may have had some technical difficulty. I got a little pop-up that said our Facebook feed had stopped, and I'm not sure exactly where it stopped. I hope you got something. I've been sitting here and meditating. I hope that you have been as well, and that you didn't miss much. Can only find humor in the craziness of all of our crazinesses. So I wanted to chat a little today about awakening and about how to find your focus on awakening and awakening itself. So, I'd like to give you the insight that I use, and that is, especially as of late, there's a lot to use as our practice. So what I typically do is look for my discomfort. Specifically, so I'm talking about the evening news. Most commonly, I used to be driving a lot. A lot was my teacher. I don't drive that much anymore. So things like the news, I see my discomfort arise, and it's right there, and I'm incensed, and I'm often angry or emotional, maybe sad, maybe, sometimes I see a little joy, and find a reaction there. But often I find something that ticks me off, enrages me a bit. Not to the point of, violence, but I see it arise, pissed off. And what this discomfort allows us to do, when we spot the discomfort, we know from the Four Noble Truths, the teaching of the Four Noble Truths, is that we have suffering, we have discomfort. There's a cause for that discomfort, a cure for that discomfort, a remedy, if you will. And that remedy is understanding. And what I'd like to say is that understanding comes from insight. And that insight points us to our awakening, our understanding. So when I see that thing, whatever incident it is that causes me discomfort, I have to look within it. Often, and I want to talk a little bit about this specifically, is the unskillful actions of others that we seem to react to. We all do it. I do it. You do it. We see something that is just downright unskillful. We see lying. We see cheating. We see greed. We see hatred. And we think that is unforgivable. That is unforgivable. And you're condemning, I'm condemning that individual that I'm looking at. And that's a valid response. Shame on them. Shame on them. But the real jewel in that reaction is then taking a step to understand that reaction, to understand the action of that individual. How could she act that way? How? Why? What's the story? And sometimes we want this, we want the 2020 story of what caused that person to be so unskillful in their lives. But we don't need a reporter to explain the individual circumstances of that person's reactions. To understand that person's reactions, you know where I'm going, don't you? You have to understand your own reactions. You have to understand your own unskillful actions and behaviors through the wisdom of insight. And for me, hindsight is a great tool for contemplation. So when I see an individual who has maybe done something that is extreme and unforgivable, I think about what is the most unforgivable thing that I have done, the thing that I'm the most ashamed of. I won't give you I won't give you the specifics because it doesn't matter. We each have our own little pocket of unskillful behavior that we have regrets about. And I want to be clear that unskillful actions are not typically intentional. They come from a place of hurt. They come from a place of fear. They come from a place of clinging or grasping. Hate comes from hurt that has been compounding. So if we think about that one thing, maybe just pick one thing that you regret, and you can see that shame, that regret, that vulnerability of sitting with that shame and understanding I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to be unskillful. But I was blinded by my hurt and maybe even ignorant to the whole situation. Typically, people don't mean to hurt, but they hurt us, and we hurt others. That's a tough nugget, because forgiveness specifically is something that is hard to do sometimes, because we think in forgiving that we are supposed to ignore or forget or give a pass to those who have hurt us, or those, even ourselves. But understanding, just pulling it apart. What happened? What happened for me to do something unskillful that hurt others or another person that you have shame and regret about? And what does it take for you to forgive yourself for that shame and regret? Forgive yourself for your unskillful action. What does it take? To me, it's understanding. Understanding that I may have been young and ignorant and hurt. I wasn't sure how to deal. So I reacted unskillfully. And we all did. And sometimes we need to atone a bit, if we can. But forgive and remember, understanding that wisdom comes from insight. And when we have the insight of understanding, we're much less likely to repeat those same steps. But in that forgiveness, understanding what caused our own unskillful behavior, we can then see that unskillful behavior of others is caused by that same hurt, that same ignorance, that same fear that we ourselves feel and felt, and which caused, some hurt. Some of us, maybe that hurt is an unskillful action is a small few. You can make a quick list of the things that you are most regretful about. And others, it may be a daily occurrence. But we can understand that those actions come from a place of darkness and misunderstanding. We're not giving a pass, but we're giving ourselves the gift of understanding. So when I look at the news and think about that discomfort that arises, it's a signal to me that I need to do some insight work to understand what is causing that dissatisfaction, that suffering within me. It's an immediate indicator that I still have work to do, to understand. And the understanding always comes from within. We all have that. We all have our human nature in common. We all have that human nature in common. Some people will never have that insight because they can't or won't look for it. But you and me have this practice where we can sit with an open heart and breathe into that understanding, breathing it in, breathing it out, seeking to understand our own human condition, knowing that we're all inseparably interconnected. We are all impermanent. And we all suffer. And to understand that suffering, we turn inside. So look in the mirror for understanding. Not to 2020 to explain someone else's story, but your own. Look within yourself to understand others. It's good insight. It's good insight, and you'll feel it. You'll feel that understanding immediately lets the air out of the tires of your distress. understanding the person that you're looking at is struggling. Important. Very important. So, do your work daily. Remember that we're gathering here every day. 2:30 Central, Monday through Saturday. We have a meditation where we sit together, even virtually. We're supporting each other. Just slowing things down to take that important look. Looking, just as we started this morning, looking at for physical discomfort, looking for mental distress or discomfort. And how can we relieve that through the insight of our awareness? Yeah. And we get better and better. Better at it. But important. Important to do it on a daily basis, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. And if you can do it multiple times throughout the day for 5 or 10 minutes, just slowing down and paying attention. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to close your eyes. You don't have to sit in funny pretzel positions on the floor. Just slow down and be aware of your own reactions, your own experience. And there's a wisdom that comes from that clear understanding of your own inner space. So I want to close today with the 4 dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa, followed by the prayer for 10 accomplishments by Lama Surya Das and our bodhicitta dedication. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness, Rigpa. May we realize true sincerity and integrity, inner purity of mind, dispassionate equanimity toward all we see, right understanding of this dreamlike world and the next, loving compassion toward others and the genuine intention to be helpful in alleviating suffering and confusion. May we directly perceive the truths of impermanence, mortality, and interconnectedness. Relinquish wandering thoughts and rampant desires. Accomplish freedom of mind and clarity of spirit. Remember with gratitude those who have gone before and shown the way, and vow to reach together full and complete enlightenment. Zhangchup Semchok Rinpoche Makye Panam Kegyur Chik Kepanyam Parme Payam Gongne Gongdu Pelwar Shok. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Body, speech, and mind directed toward awakening and for the benefit of all beings without exception. As always, these teachings and our sittings are free of charge. But if you feel called, please go to KansasCityBuddhistCenter.com and make a small donation. It helps us keep all of this online. It keeps us all going and ready to gather when we can gather and keep our Sangha strong. So I apologize for any technical difficulties today. Not of our doing, I assure you. It's our lovely connection sometimes has a moment. So it had a moment today. So I apologize for that. And if you had to scurry a little bit, let that be a teaching for you as well. Disruption is a good teacher. So check it out. Find it inside. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 2:30 Central. Have a great, great Sunday. Be awake and aware, wise and complete. I'll see you soon.